everyone. It is Thursday, the 27th of March. Welcome to another card making session. My name is Alisa Tilsner. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia, and I am going back to one of our stamp sets that we've had for a little while, and by the looks of the new catalogue, it's going to be around for a little bit longer, and that is the Layers of Beauty stamp set, because I absolutely adore the flowers in this, and I have consulted my Chat GPT, the color companion that I created, for some colors. So let's have a quick look at that first. I just want to show you what that looks like. Now I've got to remember how I can actually do this. So is that going to show on the screen? There we go. So this is the color companion that I have created, and you can actually get it for free when you sign up to my newsletter, which you can find at alisatilsner.com. It's on the screen right there in the bottom. You can just see my finger pointing to it. So when we're done today, make sure you go over and grab it if you haven't already. I've uploaded all of the Stampin' Up colors in there, so I'll only pick you Stampin' Up colors, and as soon as I get the information for the new in colors, I'll pop them in there as well, so we've got even more colors to play with. So what I did was last night I went and I put in, and I said, look, I'm going to be using a stamp set and stencils that are like a vintage style rose, and I just described that I'm going to need 3 colors for the roses and 2 colors for the leaves, and I wanted to use Moody Mauve as one of my colors, and I said, can you give me suggestions for the other 2 and a couple for the greens? So if you want, you can actually, you know, screenshot this and or pause it later on when you come back and watch the replay. So, and then it said, oh, you know, it's if you want an ego boost, I tell you what, you need to go and check this out. It is really good. So it gave me light bubble bath like for my light. My mid-tone is Moody Mauve, which is I wanted, but then it gave me Berry Burst, and for the leaves I've got Soft Sea Foam and Mossy Meadow, and I thought, oh, okay, they're really at end of scale. I did ask for a light and a dark, so that's what it's given me. But when I was pulling my colors out, I was like, I don't know that I really like the Berry Burst with it. So I went back. You can actually have a conversation with it. So I went back and I said, I'm thinking about using Berry Bliss instead, and it's just confirmed, yes, that would work really well. So that is what I'm going to do. So it is fun to play with, so make sure you do go and play with that. But let's go, and let me get back to there. Hey Deborah, how you going? Let's go. I need to turn that camera back on because it switched it off, and we will swing around. So Layers of Beauty is the stamp set that we're going to be using. I have also got near me, I've got the dies that go with them. I've bought the textured notes dies. Again, these are the rectangle ones, which, you know, if you don't like the stamp set, don't get the stamp set, just get the dies. They are amazing. And then I have got the Distress Tile embossing folder. And for a sentiment this time, I thought I would bring in these, which I haven't used before. And I'd actually just bought myself some, and then we got given some at on stage, the Stampin' Up event. So this is the Greetings for All Mix and Match Ephemera. So I thought it's got some, I'll have to open them up and have a look and see what sort of sentiments, and I thought maybe that would be nice. Okay, let's stop waffling and get stuck straight into this card. I'm going to do it fairly quick because you guys have seen, you know, we've used these before, but of course I stamped it straight up and down, and my it's actually on the angle. So what I like to do is just pop a little bit of seal behind it and stick it on my glass mat, and that gives me just a little bit of hold so that I'm not I need to go that way. And what I am going to do is I've just got a little this is a Copic multi-liner, so I'm just going to draw my V up here just to help me, and that will stay on my glass mat. And then if you've got the isopropyl alcohol, that will just come straight off. So I've just got it up there. It's just in a real gentle color so I can find it again. Okay, so let's get cracking. Now I do only have, for some reason, I need to get some more brushes. I've got plenty of blues and greens on my brushes, but not a lot of these light purpley tones. So good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Marilyn. So I am using the one brush for all three, and I do have a very well-loved microfiber, and I normally just try and rub off as much ink as I possibly can, and hopefully it'll be light enough to come into my what's my bubble bath. I don't use this color a whole lot, so I'm just going to tap off because I'm not sure of the color intensity. And whoops, we don't want that to happen. Hold on to it, girly. I got to line it up again. So hold tight. If you're not gluing it down, hold tight. So this is our first layer. So I absolutely adore this stamp set, and if you don't have it yet, I would run out and grab it. This is probably my most favoritist out of all of the layering stencils that we have. All right, I think I've missed that one. All right, so I'm just going to do it reasonably lightly. It's a little bit patchy. It doesn't worry me. Nature's patchy, right? Okay, number 2. So we'll pop that back up into the V and line up. Just make sure that it's all definitely lined up. Good morning, Jocelyn. How are you going? Okay, so now we're going to come in with my Moody Mauve, and this I want to be my predominant color. And I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Moody Mauve is an in color that is disappearing soon, which means I'm going to be sad because I do like it, but I haven't given it its full potential. I haven't used it as much as what I perhaps should. So let's go to town with this layer and go fairly dark. It's a beautiful vintage sort of color. Oops. There we go. Oopsie, I'm slipping. Put a little bit more in there. So if you're not one to colour in, if you don't enjoy the colouring in, I did do this card that I did actually. I'll grab it because it's behind me. It's one of those cards that I can't part with. I've got to make sure I've got clean fingers. So this one I coloured in with Stampin' Blends and popped a little bit of pencil over the top of it. So if you're not into colouring in, this is a great alternative to colouring in. Okay, so Blackberry Bliss was my third colour, and I'm going to go lightly with this one, I think, because like I said, I want sort of that Moody Mauve to take over and be my predominant colour. So I'm going to go lightly with this one. Make sure that we are all lined up, even though I've got my V in the right spot. You just still need to make sure that this flower here is catching. So I'm going to ink it up and then I'm going to tap it off because that is quite potent. And I'm actually going to put not so much pressure. Actually, I might have to put a little bit more pressure than what I wanted. I just want to deepen it up just a little and get those little centers. Oops, I'm slipping again. Got to hold on tight if you're doing it this way. Whoops. And I'm just going to lift the corner up. Yep, it's just very subtle. I'll bring this all up when I'm done. Now I am going to wipe off my glass mat at the moment because I'm switching colours and I don't need all that purpley coming into my green leaves. So this is where the colour combination picker, the colour, oh, I just wiped my V. I thought that my V wouldn't wipe off and it just wiped off. That's okay. I should be able to line up number 4 pretty easy, I think. So this is where it gave me a real difference in light and dark. So we're going with soft sea foam first. And then we're going to switch over to the Mossy Meadow, which is like a real dark. If you didn't want to be that game, you could probably use Old Olive, but I am going to do what it suggested. So, and because this is quite a light green, I am going to go fairly heavy. And when I mean heavy, like I'm putting a lot of pressure on my brush. If I was going light, I would move back further in the handle and just go light like this if I wanted a light touch. But when I want to go heavy, I come up and I sort of like choke hold on that head of the brush. My fingers are getting cramped. We can get a little bit more intense colour going in there. Whoops. All right, I think that'll be okay. I've got ink over here, it doesn't matter, I'm going to die cut it out anyway. Okay, and then we will switch to, that's actually quite pretty. Good morning, Leslie, how you going? Okay, and then I'm going to switch to a darker brush. Now this brush has had Old Olive on it before, so I just gave it a quick white on that microfiber. Whoops, what am I doing? I am really out of whack for this one. There we go. Line her all up. And I'm going to go, I think I'll start off lightly until I know what I've got. And this ink pad's a little bit too, by the way, so. So it's probably got a lot of Old Olive undertone in it, but I'm going to try and yeah, for some reason this ink pad is not, as you can see it on the screen, it's a little bit weird. Sort of, it's very sticky. So I'm going to have to put a new one on my shopping list, I think. All right, now I'm getting the colours in. Let's go heavier now. Okie dokie, I think I'm done. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. Ah, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I have got a pile of, I shouldn't tell you these things, but from all the last times that I used my layering stencils, I haven't cleaned any of them. So this is going, I've got a big pile of stencils to clean when I am done here. Naughty Alisa, they'll all be stained and maybe I should give them a soak. Right, so then I just twist that off, bring it up, that's pretty. And then I've got stuff on the back of my, that's easy to get off. And then the stuff that's on the back of this, all you have to do is rub it with your thumb and all that glue sort of rolls together and gammies up a little bit, and then it just comes off easy. So don't be afraid to use your seal on oh, now I can't get it off my finger. Don't be afraid to use your seal on the back of it to stick to your glass mat. Okay, I need my embossing machine, my die cut machine. Okay, and so we're going to die cut this. We're going to do a little bit of die cutting at the moment. I'm going to get rid of those blending brushes. Which one am I looking for? Layers of Beauty. So we're just going to quickly die cut this one. Now, if you want the instructions to this card as we go, you're not even in the screen, then make sure that you are signed up to my newsletter. So not only do you get the colour companion, but you'll also get weekly newsletters, and they will contain the card that we make on Thursday, and that goes out next week. So, okay. Now I'm going to use the rectangles for today's card, but you could easily use the arches as well. They're another great standalone set of dies. So I didn't actually get the stamp set that went with those because I didn't, they weren't my style. Not every stamp is everybody's style, but I did like the idea of having arches. So you could switch out the arches for, there we go, Beautiful. You could easily switch out. Okay, so now I've got a piece of Moody Mauve, and I'm going to grab the textured notes, and these are really lovely. So if you're cutting out rectangles, you know, you want to jazz it up just a little bit, the dies are perfect to do that. Now I want a fairly big cut out, and I will actually, this is, oh, get on the ground. Okay, so this here is a regular size card. You guys know that I make my cards in an unusual size, but this would be the size of a regular card front, and this is the biggest die. So I'm just going to show you, because I've had questions about whether it would fit on the card front, and yes, it does. There is a little bit more width at the top and the bottom than what there is sides, but if you, I don't mat my cards in layers, like as in matting, so I don't tend to do that, so it doesn't really bother me that it wouldn't fit for me. But that's what it looks like if you do mat like that. So you could always put that one down first and then mat from inside there if you wanted to. All right, I'm going to do this size. I think that'll be quite nice. So let's run that through. Make sure that's nice and even. And whoop, here we go. Actually, you know what? I'm just thinking this isn't going to do what I want it to do. Because, no, it's not going to do what I want it to do, because the fancy edge is on the piece that I'm going to discard. Oh my goodness. Why does that always happen to me? Oh man. It's okay. So all these things that you have in your head, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to show that and it's going to look really cool, and then when you actually do it, it doesn't turn out the way you actually think it's going to. Oh well, that's okay. It'll still be easier than trying to cut that out is easier than doing it like in your paper trimmer anyway. So now I'm just going to, as possibly I could have used a slightly smaller one as well, but it's okay. All right, what do I need for this? I need, wait a minute, am I a regular? No, I am 3D. So you can all have a little chuckle. Oh, it's like I made a card a couple of weeks back. Oh, actually, it might have been a couple of months back now. I can't remember. But anyway, what I had in my head, I went the long way around. So, okay. So now I have just embossed that. All right. Oh, dear. It's okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. All right, let's get this out of the way. Okay, so I have also got a soft seafoam base, because I thought the greens, the pale greens, would look very nice with the Moody Mauve. So I have that, and I have a piece of the soft seafoam. Now this is striped. It's got the leaves on one side and the stripes on the other, and this is from the 6x6 paper packs. And then I'm going to have that over the top, and I've just cut that frame down a little bit to go on there. So now what I am going to do with this is actually going to cut it in half. But first I want to do a little bit of ink blending. I want to do some more ink blending. So now I had that really dark Blackberry Bliss on this one, so I'm just going to wipe that off a wee bit. Oh, never a mistake, always a new creation. Yeah, hopefully. All right, so let's grab my Moody Mauve back, and we're just going to go around the edges, and actually you might just go really lightly on top of that, because it's very delicate over here. So I'm just going over the whole lot, actually, just picking up little bits of that textured tile embossing. Come back on the inside of that one just a little bit. It's a little bit blotchy, but that's okay. It all gives to the look. Okay, and then I think I would like to do some ink blending around the edges of that stripe paper as well. Get that off so we don't taint it. And with this one, because I've got my, it'll have my frame over it, I'm actually going to try and come in quite a way with that. Put the put the Moody Mauve one away so I don't pick that one up. Good morning, Wendy. All right, so let's bring this one in quite a distance. I don't want to go too heavy because it's when I'm applying this, it's actually taking away, like filling in the stripes. So I sort of want to pick it up a little bit, but not that much. Going to have a bit of a halo around it, but I sort of want to look into the card as well, if you know what I mean. So now you can see that's got the sort of the halo on the inside as well. So we're not drawn to the outside, we're drawn to the inside of the card a little bit more. Bring that in, and then I've just got that gentle stripe going on. Okay, I think I am done with all of that. So let's stick that down. Let me clean that off because, you know, there is actually green on there just because I can't see it. There is ink on there. And I'll end up getting it on something I don't want to get it on. Now, this is a full size as well, so you're not going to see any of that card base, but we'll get this stuck down. So it should be a reasonably quick card as well. Oh, good morning. We've got another Wendy. Good morning, Wendy. So let's get that hair out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. And my blurry eyeballs. Must book my eye appointment. Okay, so we've got that going on. We've got this going on. And you guys can probably tell what's going to happen is that we're going to pop the frame up so that it sort of, you know, covers that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. So I've just got to work out roughly how I would like to cut it. I might have to discard some of it, but let's see what we get. So I'm just going to pop this on top of my trimmer just to give me a rough idea, because I do want to leave room for a sentiment as well. So if I cut right, there's a leaf there and there's a leaf there, and if you cut right between the two, you don't chop any off. So we're going to pop that. We'll go behind here, and then I need to bring round for the other piece. I think that's probably going to be too big for what I want. Yep. So we are going to cut off the top of that section. So I'll just roughly work out where it's going to be up there. So if I stick my thumb there, roundabout, and we'll try and see whether we can not cut that. So I'll take it just a little bit further, and I should be able to get that in one piece. So you've got a piece here. You can, if you're doing multiples, you can then go and use that piece as well. All right. So we're going to have that. Now, what I'm going to do that's a little bit different is that instead of sticking these to my base and have this popping up, I'm actually going to stick these guys to my frame and have them lifted up as well. So let's do that now. So I'm going to just work out where I need my adhesive. If you want to use liquid adhesive for this, you go for it. You know that I am not the best with liquid adhesive, but mind you, this is that strong that when you try and unstick your fingers from it, and I'm running out. Oh, I can see the red line. Always happens. All right, we'll put a little bit of glue on there. So what I'm going to do, just to make sure that it all does stick, is I might come around from behind and stick it this way. So I need a little bit more adhesive up here. Be gentle with it, because I can tell that if I go just a little bit too far, I will probably tear it. And then my frame would be no longer. Okay, so we're going to have that popping up on that side. And then we'll do the same over here. So I can work this way. That's probably a better idea. Pop it on the inside, and then I can work out how much adhesive I need. Okay, and then we'll pop that just on top. Line it up so that we have, whoops, come down just a little bit. This is where if you use the liquid glue, you've got that little bit of slip factor. So we've got that going on now. Whoops. You could, if you wanted to, you could even pop that, you know, down a little bit further. I might do that, but first I'm going to see where my sentiment is going to place, because, you know, stick things in, you may regret it afterwards, so don't stick until you're 100%. So let's check out these sentiments now and see what we've got, because I know some of them are done on, oh, I could use that on the insert. I can. Don't throw it away. Well done. See, this is what happens when you don't do decorate your insides. You forget that you could use those pieces for your inserts. Thank you, Marilyn. Okay, so what have we got here? Obviously not a Christmas card. So we have got, and how many of each? Oh, we've got 2 sheets of each one. So we've got get well soon, congratulations, thinking of you, sending sunshine, that's cute, happy birthdays, oh happy day, thankful for you, sorry for, oh no, I thought that was the postie coming. I was going to say, you can tell it's Thursday, can't you? Sorry for your loss. We got some thank yous, some more happy birthdays. Hello, Father's Day, Mother's Day. Oh, it'd make a nice Mother's Day one. I love you. And then we've got the ones on black as well. So these ones are to the grad. Oh, I could make a card for my son. He, just before we went to on stage, he actually got the email to say that he had completed his course. So he is now fully qualified. Sending hugs. Okay, what one am I going to have? So I could have hello, which is quite nice. I don't mind the black hello. Or, I don't know, should I do a big one? Maybe I could do a thank you. And these ones here, you can actually colour them in as well, which would be pretty cool. There's thankful for you. So that's what I'm sort of thinking of. We want something that's going to be nice and big down here. Maybe the thankful for you. Let's pop that out and have a look. We could do thank you, thankful for you down there. Or we could do something on black. Hey. Maybe I'll just do that one. Hey, I'll just do that one. Let's make it quick and easy. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could put that behind and then that would go on top, but that might be a little bit messy. You could sit this one down below. If you thought about your placements a little bit, you could have put that down below, but I will end up popping that up, I think. So let's do that now. So I'm going to get some dimensionals. Expecting, it's always a happy day when we get Stampin' Up orders, right? So don't forget to put your dimensionals on the backs of these big white pieces as well, of your roses. And have I got any little ones around? I've got some black little ones. Maybe I'll just use them. And I need to get another batch, another page out. Okay, and I think I've got room. Oh, nope, I don't think I have. Haven't got room to put some down the bottom, but I haven't got any offcuts either. What is going on? Are they going to be fine? They might be too big too. You know what? I'll grab this one and I'll cut him in half. That's what I'll do. Don't mind me talking to myself. Half talking to myself. Come on, blurry eyeballs. You can do it. All right, we'll put you there. And I might need one more. I just found another spot. There we go. Lots on there, but you know, I don't want it to be flopping either. All right, and then I have to think about some. I might use. I've got those antique pearls that are relatively new. I might grab them and actually stick and actually color them in with my Stampin' Blends. Still going round. Got one more. You can see the shine on the back of them. Yep. Okay, so let's be popping you down. Excuse my head if it gets in. I sort of just want to make sure that it is nicely lined up. So when I'm doing this and it's got lots of sticky stuff on the back, I sort of try and line up the top so you can see that my fingers are down underneath, so I'm not stuck the bottom bit down first, and hopefully I can get it lined up because it is pretty floppy. There we go. So now, make sure. So that has actually got the little bit more dimension going on. So rather than sticking this down flat and then popping the frame up, that whole bit of panel just gives a different look. In like if you were looking at it in real life, it looks pretty cool. Okay, so thankful for you. Let's pop a dimensional on this. And I might need a mini one as well. I'll just use black because that's what I've got. And then if you wanted to, you could pop a little bit of seal on this side as well, or glue, whatever one takes your fancy. And we'll stick it. So it's going to be a fairly simple card after all of that. Simple layout. It's not a simple card as such, but a simple layout. And then let me grab my, see which pack is in. Oops, there it is, right on top. So let's grab that, and let's grab my, and the other way, let's grab the Moody Mauve Dark Blends, and we'll colour a few of these guys in. These are really cool. They're quite flat. They're not real sharp and domed. They're a bit more on the flat side. So if you like, I'm not much of a scrapbooker, but if you do scrapbooking, then this they're not, like, they're reasonably flat. So you could probably use them in your scrapbooking as well. All right, being gentle with my nib, and then a small one as well. So I'm trying to use more of the side of the nib rather than the point, just so I can sort of keep that nib a little bit nicer. All right, give it a moment, and I need this. Come on. So we'll stick one down. Oops, I just pulled all the colour off. Don't use the sticky thing because it just pulled. Now it's two-tone. That looks quite pretty actually. So now I'm going to be really, actually I'm going to use my bullet tip for this one. Ooh, because I don't want to touch my card. You can see how much mess it makes on the outside, so let's not do that again. All right, they're pretty. Okay, let's go back to my scissors. Sometimes they're hard to get off. All right, and then maybe we'll do the two up here and this one, just to fill in that little bit of space there. So a simple layout, but I think it's still pretty. All right, wait a minute. This guy, because I'm using a pale green I don't put in a white insert. I don't worry about that. So let's pop this in. Maybe we can do it that way. So let's pop this in and then we can call it done. Whoops. That little bit just wants to, very close, it's just hanging on. So it'll be just my luck that it breaks off. And we'll pop that along the bottom here. There we go. So I think it's these really pale cards. I sort of think, well, that's I could have done it from the top. I sort of think that they are, oh, you know what? And now I've got a square. That was a bit stupid, wasn't it? Because I got a harsh edge there. Can I get it off? Yeah, let's just do that. Rather than try to get all that off, let's do that. And if you have one of these that Stampin' Up used to sell, get it out. The adhesive remover. Whoops, and now I'm busting that. All right, I think I gotta stop. I gotta stop playing with it because I'm just making it worse. I'm making it worse. But there we go. There is our vintage vibe little card. Quick and easy. It's got the different dimension because these are popped up, but very pretty as well, I think. So there we have it. So there we go. So I would love for you to go over and grab the color combo. What did I call it? The color companion. I will endeavor to plug in the new colors as well so that you can start playing with them and we can start getting some color combinations happening with the brand new colors as well. So yeah, so that's it from me, and I will be back on next week, and I've got lots of exciting things coming up in April. So once I have all the details of them, I will let you all know. And so thanks very much for joining me, and we will see you again next week. So